Hello, ESS, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, then just welcome. Hi, my name is Brenda. I do paranormal videos here on my channel, so if that is something that you are interested in, please consider subscribing down below and turn on all your post notifications so you do not miss when I post another video like this one. Now, with all of that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. Hello everybody, and happy Friday. Long time no see per usual. Just wanted to let you guys know real quick kind of what I've been doing when it comes to my posting frequency, or like what days I'm posting and like how often I'm going to be posting. As of right now, just based off of my analytics and everything like that, and then just my schedule overall, I am maybe only going to be posting once or twice a month, maybe more if I have more time to film, but it's just been hard to get traction when I post like regularly every single week. For some reason, it's been affecting my channel negatively when I've been posting every week, but now that I've had longer gaps in between each post, I feel like I've had more engagement and more visibility, like more people are getting sent over to my videos. So just so you guys know, that's kind of how it's going to be from now on for a little while, and then maybe towards spooky season, maybe I'll ramp it up a little bit more if I have the chance. But anyway, that's why I haven't been posting as often, and I just wanted to clear that up with you guys really quickly before I started on today's video. But anyway, that's basically it. And as you guys can see by today's title, today we're going to be talking about a haunted highway story, and I kind of want to do like a play on an old series that I did in the summertime just on haunted highways in general. I was doing different states and what haunted highways they have, or like different stories that they have about different roads in that state, and I was doing that series for a little bit just as a fun little summer thing. And since summer is coming to a close like sooner than later, by the end of August, like middle of September, no more summertime. And especially here in Washington, like once the seasons change, like it's like on cue, they're ready to go move on to the next season. We don't even get like a little moment to grieve summertime. They're like, nope, you're done, it's fall now. And I love the fall time because it's not too cold yet, and it's like a perfect temperature, so I don't have too much of a problem with it going into the fall time. It's winter time that I really hate. I love fall because I love spooky season. Like, hello, that's like the whole vibe of my channel and my room on its own. So yeah, anyway, that's what I was going to make a little play on. I wanted to kind of bring back the series, but instead of just covering the different states and what their urban legends are behind a highway or a road or whatever, I wanted to do like stories of people that have actually experienced something on these highways or on these roads, different phenomenon, different paranormal kind of things, I don't know, creatures, maybe mythological kind of vibes, I don't know, like, you know, the vibe, like that kind of thing. So that's what this story is going to be about today, and this is from an article or a website called yourstories.com. I recommend you guys to read them because there are so many stories on here, and I like to read off some of them here on my channel once in a while. I got all of my stories that were based in Mexico from this article or this website before, and they have some really good ones. So if I don't have any more subscriber submissions, I go do this instead and read off for you guys, just so if you're not a reader, if you're not a big reader and you don't like doing that on your own, here I am doing it for you. Today's story is about the Alabama Highway 36. And I don't think I did cover Alabama as one of my states for my series in the summer. I think it was last year or maybe the year before that. I don't know. It's all a blur. But okay, this one is submitted by MK1, and obviously it's from Alabama. And this is a miscellaneous category for this story. I'm guessing it's because maybe it's some kind of like mysterious thing that happened, like something that they don't really know what to think of it. So This story took place in the summer of 1996 on Rural Highway 36 near Lacey Spring, Alabama, which is a small community located between Huntsville and Hartselle. I was living in Birmingham, Alabama at the time, and my girlfriend then, now my wife, was with me for this experience. I am a professional musician, and I'd come up to Huntsville, Alabama for a gig I had at a local music hall just outside the downtown area of the city. After my show, I packed up to leave, got paid, and we were on our way back to Birmingham. It was approximately 2 a.m. as we were leaving Huntsville, and some inclement weather was beginning to form out to the west of the city. So my girlfriend and I opted for a shortcut route toward our destination and to possibly avoid the approaching storm. We stopped once at a gas station on the main thoroughfare. Thoroughfare? I don't know how to say that. Highway 231, also known as Memorial Parkway, to get a bottle of water and some snacks for the hour-and-a-half drive back to Birmingham. While in the store, the friendly clerk offered information that a tornado had been reported due west of Huntsville, and that we'd do well to keep the radio tuned to a local weather station if we were continuing on the road. The entire North Alabama area is considered a year-round tornado alley, so while are always cognizant of weather, we simply monitor conditions and go about our lives. We continued out of Huntsville on Highway 231, crossed the Tennessee River, and entered the tiny community of Lacey Spring, Alabama. The skies looked ominous as we took a right turn onto Highway 36, which would eventually cross Interstate 65, leading us back to Birmingham. Alabama Highway 36 is a rural, oh my god, I cannot say rural, two-lane state road that passes through several extremely tiny communities. There is only one traffic light on the entire 36-mile stretch, and save for a handful of houses and small businesses located along the road. So at night, the area is nearly pitch black, desolate, and seemingly deserted. Even during daylight hours, traffic on Highway 36 is very light. Usually one would occasionally see a sheriff's patrol car, dump truck, or a small trailer with bales of hay. On this particular night, however, my girlfriend and I got the scare of our lives as we turned west onto Highway 36. It was approximately 2:30 a.m. Small hail had begun to fall, and the winds were picking up. Thus far, the road was absolutely deserted and no light anywhere. The radio reported a possible tornado just west of the city of Huntsville, which was now about 25 minutes north of our location. What we saw on our drive in the next 30 minutes will haunt us for the rest of our days. We'd driven west on Highway 36 approximately 3 to 5 miles when the hail turned to light rain, and as we came around a bend in the road, we saw headlights, but something didn't look right. The headlights we saw were not in horizontal array, but a vertical one, and they had obviously been set on bright, what you might use in inclement weather. The vehicle was facing east. We approached the headlights carefully, and as I slowed the car to a crawl and lowered my window, my girlfriend and I saw that the headlights were from a brand new red SUV, which was lying on its passenger side on the edge of the road. Interior lights on and the engine running, and the driver's side door was inexplicably open. There are a lot of words that I can't pronounce sometimes, and I just sit there like, oh my god, this is gonna be such a pain to edit out every single time that I tried to say the word. And at this point, I'm like, if I say it wrong, I say it wrong, and mind your business, okay? Just saying. I stopped my car completely and repeatedly yelled out, "Anybody in there? Is anyone hurt? Can you hear me? Do you need assistance? Anyone need help?" I got no response at all. The inexplicable thing was that the red SUV looked brand new, and there were no marks or any evidence that the car had been in any sort of an accident or had been picked up by the high winds of a tornado. Since our area of North Alabama is threatened by tornadoes year-round, I have seen literally hundreds of vehicles that have been flipped, rolled, or destroyed by the deadly force of a tornado. Vehicles anywhere close to a tornado are always covered in silt, debris, and usually many of the windows are blown out. The red SUV we saw was absolutely pristine. It looked as if it had been simply lifted by a giant hand and set gently on its side. And that might have just well been what happened. Maybe aliens? Question mark. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking, especially if this truck was intact. Very high possibility that it was some kind of alien thing, because why else would it just have appeared there and not gotten damaged at all? Okay. My girlfriend and I decided to continue on, hoping to flag down a sheriff's deputy if we happened to pass one. We did not own cell phones yet. Yeah, this is 1996, I forgot. Just a couple more miles down Highway 36, we spotted the lights of yet another vehicle stopped near the road ahead. As we got closer, we saw that this particular vehicle was a green SUV, upside down in the shallow roadside ditch, engine running, all lights on, driver's side door open, and no one anywhere around the vehicle. Creeped out but still concerned, I lowered my girlfriend's passenger side window and yelled for anyone who might need help. And again, no response whatsoever. There was no evidence that a tornado had passed through the area, as there were no limbs down, no signs of debris, or no trees bent or snapped. It was just a little rainy, but what happened next is one of the scariest things I have ever seen. We continued west on Highway 36, and it was now nearly 3 a.m. We rounded another wooded bend that opened into a clearing on both sides of the road, and already a little freaked out, I noticed the road seemed to be moving. I slowed, and as we got closer, my girlfriend and I saw that the road, the shoulder, the ditches, everything was covered in small frogs, hopping in all different directions. And I don't mean there were a couple hundred frogs in the road. There were thousands upon thousands of frogs. They covered every inch of the road and shoulder as far as we could see. Now we were really scared, totally freaked out. Whatever we'd driven into, my girlfriend and I decided that we should get the hell out of there right then. The insane thing was that we kept driving, running over the frogs, sadly, but there seemed to be no end to them. We estimated that we drove at least 3 more miles before we couldn't see any more frogs. They were everywhere. The road and the shoulders of the road were inundated with small, hopping, living frogs everywhere you looked. Oh my god, that is so gross. I can't even imagine having to run over them with my car. There's something so icky about that. I can't even run over roadkill on the side of the road because it absolutely grosses me out, and also makes me really sad because that was an animal at some point, a living, breathing animal, and now he's all squished on the road and I can't even bear to run my tires over it again. So having to do that with hundreds and hundreds of frogs is absolutely disturbing and terrifying, even though it's nothing like paranormal or anything like that, obviously, other than the fact that like, where the hell are these frogs coming from and why are they all here scattered on the floor? Other than that, like, it's like, how do you explain this, right? Like, it's still scary. Like, I would absolutely be super freaked out if I saw this in real life. Like, just hearing it probably doesn't seem as extreme, but like, imagine going through that. Like, absolutely not. No, thank you. We saw no further cars on the road until we had to make our turnoff toward Birmingham. By the time we reached the junction of Alabama Highway 36 and Interstate 65, we stopped at an all-night gas station to hop out and shake our heads. We simply couldn't believe what we'd seen. 2 different SUVs, one on its side and one flipped on its roof, but with no visible damage. The engines running and lights on, with the owners nowhere to be found, and what looked like a veritable biblical plague of small, oh my god, that was really hard. Vertical biblical plague of small frogs covering every square inch of a rural highway for probably 3 or more miles. And here are a few details. Neither I nor my girlfriend had been drinking alcohol, nor had ingested any mind-altering narcotics of any sort. Neither of us are prone to hallucinations, and we are both super alert, highly educated Christian people with no history of psychotic behaviors. The next morning, we'd found out no tornado or high winds had been spotted, reported, or recorded anywhere in the immediate vicinity of our sighting, which ruled out that the wrecked SUVs and the frogs were a product of any weather-related event. Seeing that we are extremely weather aware, I immediately began research into the incident with the frogs. Our area has a very high concentration of professional people educated on weather, science, and psychology. I consulted with meteorologists, engineers, scientists, a psychiatrist, and even a couple of people who are known to be lightning rods for paranormal activity. The scientists all agreed that frogs do have a mating season where they will make an exodus from their environment to begin the mating process. But since there were no large enough freshwater bodies nearby, the sheer number of frogs we witnessed could not be explained by animal biology. The meteorologists all agreed that during certain weather events such as a tornado or waterspout, it is highly likely that the marine-dwelling animals like frogs could be sucked out of their watery habitat by the vortex of the winds, but they would likely be blown quite high into the air and actually fall back to the ground, usually encased in hail, and very few, if any, animals would survive a fall from even a height of 20 feet. Also, a waterspout or tornado would not simply pick up frogs. It would also pick up fish, birds, and water-dwelling vegetation. None of those were present. Therefore, if the frogs that my girlfriend and I witnessed had been sucked up by a storm before being deposited into the road in front of us, it is highly unlikely that many of them would still be alive. And all of them were alive. Furthermore, the sheer number of frogs and size of the area where we witnessed them rules out a mating migration. Scientists and meteorologists all agreed that the number of live frogs we saw over so large an area populated by such small bodies of water, a couple of small lakes and creeks, makes any rational scientific or meteorological explanation impossible. As for the wrecked but intact SUVs, area police and sheriffs had no report of vehicle accidents in that area for that date and time, per my research. The two people with experience in paranormal activity whom I consulted with were equally baffled. Finally, I have quite a few experiences which I consider to be paranormal in nature, but no other experiences like this. What could this be? The wrecked cars are one thing, but a plague of hopping living frogs in every direction for at least 3 miles on Alabama State Highway 36? I don't know about that. All I hope for is some sort of explanation. This event from 20 years ago does not cause me any fear or anxiety, just very scared and unexplained by rational thought and professional sciences. Thank you for reading. Any thoughts or ideas are appreciated. Best to you all. MK1. What? Oh my gosh. So crazy, and obviously an unexplained phenomenon of some sort, if you will. Like, I don't know what this could have possibly been, but I am leaning very much towards like some kind of alien event, some alien phenomenon for some reason. I want to say for the SUVs, maybe when they were driving, whoever those vehicles belonged to, maybe they got abducted from their, hypothetically speaking, okay? I don't even know if aliens are real, but it's not impossible for us to have another being live amongst us or in our universe, right? But I'm saying maybe they got abducted from their trucks, and if you've seen like an alien movie, you know, they do the little beam thing and then like they'll float out of it, and I feel like maybe they did that but with the entire car, and then they set the car back down only took the driver, and that's why the doors were open of the SUVs. That's just my theory, that could have been why both of those SUVs ended up that way, and how the trucks were not damaged in the process of being left not upright, right? Because I feel like obviously whoever could have abducted these people, maybe they just left the car however it was, but they just set it back down, and not in a hard way, obviously, as well, because the SUVs were perfectly fine, no damage to them whatsoever. So I feel like that may be a possibility if you're really thinking like out there and you're thinking of something that's not scientifically proven, or that you can't scientifically prove. And it could have been the same thing with the frogs. Maybe they got swooped up from somewhere in multiple different regions, and they got all dropped down in that certain road. And I'm not really sure if it has any ties to the fact that it's Alabama Highway 36, or if it's just because that's just where it happened to happen, and maybe there hasn't been any kind of other phenomenon like this on that road. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Who freaking knows? But I would also like to know your guys' thoughts and ideas on what this could have been. If you guys agree that maybe it was like an alien type of incident that could have happened, and they just so happened to be there at the same time and witness some of the aftermath of this. And if the vehicles were also not reported to be damaged, or like some kind of vehicle incident, maybe I feel like once the people that got abducted were returned, because I feel like sometimes people who have experiences with abduction, they mention, getting returned, because obviously how else are they telling the story? But there are also like theories that a lot of these people never returned, and that's how they turn up missing, right? But maybe they were returned back to their car. The aliens or extraterrestrials, whatever you want to call them, maybe they put them back in the car, set them off on their, like, where they were originally, and then snapped them out of maybe a trance that they were in of some sort, and then they woke up driving again, just like if nothing happened, and maybe they have no recollection of it at all. Because otherwise, like, wouldn't you think that you would have found something? Maybe they reported it to somebody, unless they thought that people would think they're crazy, and then they never said anything ever for the last like 20 plus years. Who knows? But I feel like this one is such a fun one because it's unexplained, right? It feels like an episode of Unexplained Mysteries, where you just hear something like this crazy happen to somebody, and everyone's like, what could have been going on here? What could have been the cause of this happening on a random day in 1996? And another thing I wanted to mention when it comes to phenomenons like this, I feel like they don't happen as much nowadays for some reason. I wonder why. Like, I wonder if maybe our technology has become so advanced that they don't want us to be able to have any proof of another life form existing among us, and they don't do it as often. Like, maybe these things are kept more, or maybe they stopped coming here, because they see what's going on with humanity, and they don't want anything to do with that. They're like, these people are they're not good people, and they don't want to get involved with us. But who knows? I just thought this story was so much fun, and I really enjoyed reading it. I hadn't read it before. I just kind of skimmed through it just to see what kind of vibe this was going to give me, and whether it was going to be something that I covered on here. But this is the first of maybe a few or a couple that I'll do before summer's completely over. We'll see. I'll see how many other ones I could find like this. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this one specifically on this, not haunted, but maybe because it's isolated, that's why something like this took place. I don't know. But for me, I'm just gonna say haunted for now. Paranormal, some paranormal things going on in this highway, or specifically at this time for this incident. Who knows if anything else has happened on Alabama Highway 36, but If you guys know anything else about this, I would love to hear it in the comments down below. But that's gonna be it for today's video, you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this little story and that you guys like this series that I will do just temporarily for a little bit. I'll do maybe a couple more videos, as I said. Let me know in the comments, and then based off of that, I'll see if I end up doing another video like this. But yeah, that's gonna be it from me today, you guys. Thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end of the video, and if you did, make sure to leave a little truck emoji, that way I know who stayed all the way to the end. And if you did, as always, I really do appreciate it. I love you so much, and me and you are besties, of course. And also, today's comment shout out goes to this person right here. Thank you so much for leaving a nice comment. As always, it really makes my day, and I really love seeing you guys comment down below. And yeah, guys, that's it. Thank you again so much for watching. Hopefully I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to stay safe and be kind. Bye bye.